Right, guys, so now we've got the panel. As you can see, I've got a really big microphone in my hand. It does work. So this is going to be taking the audio, because what we're going to be doing with this panel is we're going to be recording it. So we've got a camera here, and I think there was a camera somewhere else as well that's going to be, is that recording all of them? Is that got, yeah, okay. I don't know why I'm asking you about framing. You know framing, it's your job. But we're going to be recording it for anybody that couldn't make it. We're going to be recording this panel. What I've got is I've got some set out questions for the panelists. So we've got a few questions that they have seen already. So they've practiced their answers. But I don't want to make it easy for them today. Does anyone want to make it easy for them? No, boo. No, we don't. So what we want is ideally some of you guys to come up with your own questions. This is anything around Data Cloud, anything around Agentforce. One of these panelists are going to be able to answer it. And if they can't, I mean, we'll have to have a conversation with your bosses. No, we don't have that option, Nathan. You are on the spot. It's done. But we've got about 20 minutes. So we've got 5 or 6 questions here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to lead with one question, and then I'm going to open it up. So if you want to ask a question, please put your hand up. I'll come to you with the microphone. That will pick you up. And then I will hand it to the individuals that will answer it. But before we do that, hopefully you've had a little introduction to our friends on the panel here already. But I'm going to give them a chance for a quick, Nadio, introduction. Okay? Quick introduction of themselves, so you know who they are and sort of why we've got them on this panel about this. So I think I'm going to go first off to our friend over here, and then we'll get stuck in. So, yeah, who are you and where are you from? It's a bit like Blind Date. I feel like Cilla Black.
Thank you, Chris. So Owen Hollingdale, I work alongside Ben and Ron and a few of the others here at Klubies and now Synchron. I am ex-Salesforce, was at Salesforce for 3 years as a solution architect. For my sins, have been picking up Agentforce and Data Cloud over the last sort of 3-4 months. So by no means an expert. We have far more technically skilled people within the business, but hopefully I can speak a little bit about it today and talk about some of the ways it can bring benefits to marketing.
Perfect. Thank you. Quick intro, Nadia.
Hello, my name is Johnny Cash. Hi, I'm Nadio Granata. I know lots of people in the room here through my days at Make Positive. So I was a brand director at Make Positive, and I then splintered off. I set up a publishing company. So if ever any of you got the SF Society magazine, that was one of mine. And the what have we had? Partner event promotions. We did 9 Gala. 9. Well, you were at all of them. You were holding it together, Chris. We had 9 Gala events in 2 years, and then COVID came, and I got into AI. I got into learning. Did my 10,000 hours. I live on a boat, and I spent 2 years on my boat just learning about AI. How boring is that? And then I came back out, and I'm now the founder of the AI, not out in that sense. So I'm the founder of the AI Collective, and I spend much of my time now in the Middle East training Emirati senior management and leaders on responsible AI. So that's my thing.
Thank you. Still Eunice. I've now got 8 years and 20 minutes of experience since I last introduced myself. Hello.
So I'm Nathan Jones. I'm a solution engineer at Salesforce. I have been at Salesforce for 14 years. So I predate the Marketing Cloud that you know, and actually predate the tower that you've probably all visited as well. So yeah, I've seen the whole offering change from social to email to advertising and all the way through to personalization into a CDP and then into Data Cloud.
Thank you very much. I'm Luca Benini. I'm that one. I'm the founder at Vinton. We are an ISV in the Salesforce ecosystem on the App Exchange. We turn conversations into Salesforce data. That's what we do. We have a video and audio and AI platform. I also used to work for Salesforce with Nathan back in the day. So, you know, I actually hired Nathan for all myself. And yeah, I mean, ever since lived and breathed into the ecosystem all the way to now that we run this ISV. I'm excited about the opportunity that AI, data cloud, Agentforce especially brings to the table for all Salesforce users. And I think tonight is about looking into that for marketers.
It is, but we've widened the net a little bit, so it's not just for marketing, but there is definitely a focus on it. So as I say, I've got a few questions here. I know people like Jasmine Ashley's probably got about 50 questions over there as well. So I'm not going to take all the time, but I'm going to start with the first question. I've got a few written down here, and I think this one's probably important. I know in the room we've got some customers of Salesforce, we've got some consultancies that build things for Salesforce, we've got people that are just interested in it. So a bit of a mixture, but I think there's a couple of difficult questions on here. What one do I want to ask? So this is an interesting one, right? So hopefully everybody here is either speaking to their customers about or is looking at how they can utilize some of these technologies at their businesses. So I'm going to ask the panel, where would you start when it comes to building out use cases and assessing the potential for ROI within the business for AI? Mainly obviously data cloud and Agentforce, but how do we build use cases, and how do we sell to the business that there's going to be return on investment utilizing these tools? Please do.
So we've got within the organisation, as I said, we've got a few people that know the AI space really well, but a lot of the team are sort of learning it, coming on board with it. But what we do have within the organisation is industry expertise. So we have really good people that know exactly what they're talking about within the industries. As Ben mentioned earlier, we have a few focus industries, but within that, what we're doing as an organisation is we are looking at ways that we can leverage that knowledge to identify really good use cases, really powerful use cases where we can leverage the data that we've got in the background via data cloud or via other solutions, but then power that through into Agentforce in order to sort of fulfill potential customer requirements. Anything further to add?
I'd build a custom GPT. I'd tell it all about who I am, what I do, what my company does, what my challenges are, and what my ROI, what my hopeful ROI is going to be. And then I check that against our history and refine and publish that.
Yeah. Generally would visit customers' previous use cases where they've had trouble implementing prior to this whole AI revolution. These are generally the low-hanging fruit for our customers. We revisit those and see where AI can play a role in that.
Yeah, I'd break it down into two components. You've got the data cloud, and then you've got the Agentforce side. So with data cloud, I would start off with the question that you're looking to answer, right? And look at what data do you have? Is it accessible? Do you have to create calculations? And then how are you going to then measure that success from there? But always start small. Data cloud can feel like a all-you-can-eat buffet, all brought out at once. Think about the bottlenecks that you've got in the organization and how then AI, and particularly then the agentic layer that we've got, can help solve that. Whether that's an internal use case to help sellers or employees work better, or is it to help and aid those that engage with your brand and business?
Actually building on that, and we're going in a sequence here, but I think to summarize maybe and to add a little bit to what Nathan was saying and everybody else is, the ROI, the immediate and the quick win of AI, broadly speaking, will be in time saved. So it's an efficiency play first. That's where most clients will immediately see the benefit and they will see the return in the short term. It becomes strategic when it starts to widen the scope, right? So when you plug multiple data sources, when you start to play across the rest of the organization, we've seen success measured first and foremost in time saved. Quite simply, how many minutes am I saving per day per person, and then build that up. But from there, then you have, you play on those efficiencies and you deliver ultimately impact and effectiveness in other areas, I guess. And we have a question.
Hello, thank you for having me. When it comes to communicating with your customers and how you would initiate that conversation, how are you managing their expectations and what timelines are you giving them to see the results? Because I know that a lot of people get excited about AI and think it can do everything all at once, all the time, and they have visions and ideas. How are you managing that?
I'll give as a strategic marketer, fellow of the Chartered Institute of Marketing, I'll give you one of those responses. And I think managing expectations is a massive problem. A massive challenge. And I think it's a great question. And I think, Eunice, you alluded to the way that you manage your services. I think you'd be very good at managing people's expectations because you have a very realistic view on AI and what it can and can't do. So, but it needs to be built in. If you remember at Make Positive, we had 3 tenets. We were authentic, we were pragmatic, and we were brave. You've got to be authentic. Do not bullshit your clients because they can see right through it.
The answer is very easy for us. We are focused on a very practical use of AI. The way in which we deliver value, or we would set the expectation, is based on the immediate impact first, which in our situation will be effectively, as a solution, we bring the data from any conversation. A conversation like this, I'm actually recording it right now, a conversation on a video call or a conversation on a phone, and we would bring that data in Salesforce, and that's the immediate impact. And then from there, you serve it to Agentforce, you serve it into the rest of the data, and that's where the rest of the magic can start and happen. So we're kind of a foundation layer in a way. So it's easier possibly for us to position the value that you can get from it.
Sorry for barging in. I know the people that are on the panel are supposed to answer. I'm ex-IBM, I'm delivery director, so everything about realizing the promises that the sales team make. That's what we're here for, realizing the dream. And I can say from my experience, specifically with data and in general for AI and Gen AI in particular, a lot of companies are afraid of taking the leap because they think they need a huge transformation, a huge revamp of their data. It's not clean, it's deduped, there's a lot of problems that they need to solve before they can even talk to us. But actually what we need is to take it down to low-hanging fruits and to little use cases. We've done in IBM some beautiful transformations that started from taking a problem that was very painful, but it was to index cases of a bank that a person would need days. Eventually we did in 28 seconds.
We see with customers, one of our customers with Data Cloud, like they had lots of things they wanted to solve, but we look at one use case. One use case absolutely blew them out of the water on what could be done. Then they were like, and then the upper business have gone, what else can we do? And now they've got 12, 13, 14 use cases that they're working through now. So I think that's really important. Start small, look at the actual problem itself and see what can be solved off the back of it, and then go bigger rather than looking at it as a big beast. Portion it, do it in stages. So no, do not apologise. Absolutely fantastic. We got lots. His hand up was first earlier, so I'm going to go to the back over here to one of our AI guys.
I will help you out. Wonderful. I mean, I'm a consumer of Salesforce, but I was actually one of the instigators at a large regulatory body that introduced Salesforce there. I do like Salesforce; it's very useful. However, in the age of AI, I mean, one of the problems I've always had is that Salesforce is great for the very large enterprises. Very large enterprises have very deep pockets, not a problem, and that will always be the case. However, they only account for about 1% of the actual GDP and anything else in any one country. There are 99% which are SMEs. I'm a champion of the SME, and it's always been a challenge for me to actually have something which is actually a reasonable price point. With the advent of Agentforce, AI and everything else, with, what is it, £2 per case, it's extortionate for a small business. So what do you have in mind to actually help small businesses, or how are you going to champion small businesses to be able to actually get a foothold in the Salesforce ecosystem? Because at the moment they're locked out.
Just add and maybe challenge your assumption that it's expensive with the fact that the big promise that comes with AI is that everything will be measurable. We also heard it earlier from Eunice. We're going in a direction where we will quickly know if those $2 per conversation are worth, and they're delivering more than $4, I guess you would expect, per conversation. And possibly this would actually mean that this pricing is actually more democratic and democratizing the platform or the solution rather than the opposite. Because in a way, it becomes affordable because it's so measurable. So it will be easier, in theory, again, we all to be demonstrated and to be looked at for the next couple of years, I guess. But we will get there, and maybe we'll go exactly in the opposite direction that what it looks like on paper right now when you look at $2 per conversation.
I can add just to that as well, kind of from our experience of seeing the latest innovations from Salesforce with, obviously I'm coming at this from a partner angle, but seeing the things like Marketing Cloud Growth, Marketing Cloud Advanced, they're really trying to get into that SMB bucket where other players like HubSpot or other similar competitors where we're playing in, these new tools are really equipping, so definitely marketers to be able to use these AI functionalities for that stuff I mentioned earlier, or that content building, segment building, all of that's available with this new growth and advanced product. So I already see Salesforce moving in the direction or growing in the direction of being able to also support SMB, but obviously I'm coming at this from a partner angle.
Talking about smaller businesses as well, what about the products that are specifically being made with parts of Data Cloud involved and AI and stuff for the smaller businesses? So like Marketing Cloud Growth, for example, things like that. Does anyone want to touch on that? Because I think I mean, I was looking at one of you two, right? But I think in a marketing space, I think that problem has definitely been heard, right? And I think you are right. Like when you look at it just in pounds and pence, Salesforce is expensive. But I think Nathan's point there, it's
the investment part of it.
There you go.
It's return on investment means you need to know what the investment is.
Fair. Products that are being created currently by Salesforce and are being rolled out, have been rolled out in some regions and are being rolled out in the UK. Could you give me a little bit of a snapshot of what some of those look like in the marketing space? I think that'd be a...
Yeah.
Where am I taking it? Over there?
Yeah, so there's a combination of things, I think. The first one, Eunice talked about it earlier, it was segmentation. That used to be a huge problem and obviously required a lot of technical input, often by database engineers to strip out users so that they could be segmented properly. The second part really is how do we, with the sort of the launch of Agentforce, and we're seeing it more in the marketing sphere, is what used to be sales, service, and marketing as a Venn diagram is now a very awkwardly shaped circle. They're blending together quite quickly. So I come from a time when I first did sort of advertising, it was TV advertising, and we did things like adverts during Coronation Street. So we'd have to have people in telephone centres to handle calls. Now you could actually quite quickly, using QR codes from tubes, speed up that. So if you've got like fibre and you want to check in, see if it's in the area, you could do that, start the conversation, have a one-to-one conversation with an agent and actually go through that sales cycle quite quickly. So that transition from a marketing engagement point of view to an actual sales is really quick. That collection of data, then following up with email and everything else like that, which I think is really, really powerful. The other aspect I think which will happen from a marketing and advertising point of view, at the moment we're constrained or hamstrung by the UI of Agentforce. And it being on a phone or being on a web page or a browser or something like that. You think in future, and not too far around the corner, when we launch APIs for this, you can integrate this into other hardware, Alexas, cars, all that kind of thing. So that interaction with Agentforce or agents is just going to open up a lot more capability.
It is. We have got time for 2 more, right? Because otherwise Emma's probably going to leave and need to make sure we've got a gentleman over here, and then we've got time for 1 more. I'm not going to ask any more of my questions. I'm going to let you guys take this on. So there you go.
Sure. Thank you. So my question is just extension of the previous question. Like Salesforce has gone with a credit-based pricing for Data Cloud as well as for the Agentforce. So probably tier 1 clients, they probably have a deeper pocket and it makes sense for them. They can afford it. But then for tier 2 and tier 3 clients where they have a budget constraint, they will have to, for getting the implementation, they have to pay for the integrators. And then for every conversation, basically, there is a credit-based system, which is uncertain. So uncertainty is what I'm trying to emphasize on here. So how do system integrators like us convince tier 2, tier 3 clients to help them understand what benefits Agentforce and Data Cloud will bring for them? And there are other aspects, security aspects like spam attacking, where basically, the conversation will blow out of limit in a single day itself. What Salesforce is doing to protect such kind of security attacks?
I'm not sure where this one is going. Nathan's looking at the floor. Any vendors want to get involved in this one, or are we going to bully Nathan again? I'm sorry, mate. I feel like I'm going to have to buy you a few beers for coming and getting on the panel. It is, isn't it? Yeah. And you can sing, so it's fine. There we go.
This obviously is a big change. Salesforce is traditionally charged purely on seats, so it was easy, right? It was a very physical, numerical number and a hard cost. Whereas consumption now for Salesforce is different. It's a different type of conversation. But when you think about the data that's going into Data Cloud, it's largely charged in the same way from a conversion or a consumption method. So things like Snowflake, Amazon, and so on, they all operate in a similar sort of way. The pricing that they operate from, again, is quite elaborate. You look at their rate cards and everything else like that. It's like a Magna Carta of charges. It's very difficult. It's going to be a challenge, and that transition is starting to gather traction over time. But what we've tried to do as well is make it as transparent as possible. So we have launched a feature called Digital Wallet, which gives in near or close to real time, 15 minutes, I think it updates the consumption. So instead of it being a month out of date and then working out that you've driven the wrong way for a long time and you can't get that back, we are starting to give you a clearer understanding of what that use case, that action, that business outcome you want to achieve is actually going to cost. So again, it's again starting with a smaller use case, building trust and credibility with how that is charged, and then scale it from there. Or the more conversation that comes through it, there is an argument that there is going to be efficiencies of scale, and that cost will come down because more are being filtered through that platform. But yes, it could look quite large to begin with, but again, it comes down to how you're going to measure that.
So if I wanted to add kind of also as an SI, so kind of especially with Data Cloud, our Data Cloud customers we're seeing implemented, looking at this consumption-based model, it really adds another. It's another skill we need to make sure our consultants stay on top of, and we prove our value. Being able to showcase to our customers like we're able to ultimately keep your costs down actually has helped us as an SI, being able to prove those skills. So really kind of bringing that knowledge into your consultancies really adds an extra bow to your hat. So as an SI, we're trying to make the most of this.
One more. Yeah. What is the most interesting use case application of AI that you have seen within your own business or with one of your customers?
Okay, fine. Do that then.
Yeah? Was that pretty much what you said? No? Okay, well. This one could go to everybody, and then we've got some lovely live music afterwards. So, Owen?
I mean, I'm gonna take a really easy.
Gosh, yeah, do it.
nothing related to business at all. But I just,
Okay, do it.
I just love the sort of generative approach to recreating great works of art, but with other individuals potentially in them, and other items, other individuals. I just find it's quite fun. It's quite fun use, fun application, and it was kind of what I suppose for me personally. I'd spent many years in the sort of predictive world, and the generative bit. I was thinking, well, all the stuff, all the important stuff to do with the data and the analytics that I love, I can already do that. It was kind of little things like that kind of turned my head around and sort of showed me what the art of what might be possible going forwards. And I know that's a sort of fun use case, but you can kind of then start to translate that on into business, business use cases.
And the fun stuff can be used very well in marketing, right? Those fun things, like you're saying, I don't know, turning the Mona Lisa's head into a dog, for example, for some marketing use case. But here we go. Nadio's going to give us a good one here, I reckon. Here we go. I'll tee this up. I'm going to put it. Yeah, go on, Nadio.
All right. Well, I've built over 200 custom GPTs, so I'm not going to take you through all of them. And fun, some of them are fun, but quite a lot of them are serious. So for prediction analysis, for job hunting facilities and things like this. But I think outside of that, there's a wonderful one that I've been enjoying recently. It's called Clip LM. Clip LM on your phone. You've got to use it on your phone, and it will take any file and it will turn it into a podcast. And it will allow you to upload up to 3 files, and so you can take Monday the government issued their opportunities report, the AI opportunities policy plan. Take that, take an essay that you might have written, and take your business mission. Mix them together. You can give some instruction and get it to write you a podcast. Take that podcast text, turn that into a white paper, and then you can also create a movie. There you go. Clips LM. Clips.
One of the it's just because it's top of mind. It's a recent conversation I had. Somebody's built he's built his business around acquiring companies which sell stuff on Amazon based off of but he's got this AI tool which tells him what products are most in demand and where they're most in demand, and he buys companies which produce those products, and he then uses the AI to produce everything from producing all the content to improve the listings on Amazon or whatever else, all the way through to fulfilling the orders. Exactly, all of that good stuff. And yeah, he's just been on a roll of buying businesses that do that, and he seems to be doing pretty well for himself. So yeah, that's an issue. That's it. Big baller.
So you go last because we're gonna leave Salesforce last. I'll right. I mean, so we finish on a high. I'll bring it home a bit. Our clients are. I've never seen them as excited as when we show a functionality that is very straightforward once you understand AI, which is analyzing a video call, typically a sales or a service video call, and then doing a bit of coaching to the person that was leading the call, and that comes with areas of improvement. A score is assigned, and then specific segments of the call with a specific information about how you could have handled that better, or and that's all based on their own methodology. So they get super excited about this, and I can see the future of where it's ultimately helping humans get better, probably generating more data and better data for AI ultimately. So I think it's quality circle there.
And that's in Vinton.
That's in Vinton.
I haven't done anything. I don't take any credit.
And you can download Vinton straight from the App Exchange and try it
Right now, for free.
And actually,
Ask Chris.
Actually, funnily enough, so shameless plug for Luca. We've been using a product called Fireflies to record our meetings and get insights and next best actions and blah blah blah, all of that sort of stuff, record the video, etc. I had a call with these guys actually about this panel, and we put all these questions together, and none of them have been asked. You obviously bullied Nathan about pricing, but Vinton recorded that. I got the output of Vinton. It showed that 56% of the call I was talking, which then made me think, hold on, do I talk too much? Yes, I do. But the insights, how it was laid out, what we saw off the back of it, next best actions and all the rest of it, we're paying not a huge amount, but a decent amount for Fireflies. And even the full price pricing of Vinton is better than Fireflies, and the outputs were 3-4 times as good. Like the UI was fantastic. We are switching.
You're recording this,
right?
You are.
Anybody that needs to summarize meetings that they have, if whatever you do as business is meeting heavy and you use Salesforce, if you haven't looked at Vinton, like you're behind, because they're doing a fantastic job. Honest to God.
Is it better than Fathom as well?
It is.
I haven't used Fathom, but I'm sure he'll tell you yes.
It is.
But yeah, just my honest opinion. It's fantastic app. It is.
But the most important thing is that all that data is then in Salesforce, and that's what matters. Matters for AI, matters for Agentforce, matters for the broadly speaking building that foundation of data that then Nathan takes and transforms with Agentforce into the best use case for AI, which is.
Luca, I'll also take my check in the mail.
Yeah.
Nathan, take
So
it.
last one, I don't know whether it's fun, but it's definitely functional. And I'll keep it on brand. So often I will get peppered on Slack. How do I do this? How do I do that? As if I'm some sort of oracle. But I will now, instead of going, I'll just Google it, you can go to Agentforce or help.salesforce.com and get an Agentforce experience. So the amount of times I would just simply type in what their question is, put it in, record it, send it back going, this is how you can do it. Right, so if you all want to experience it and see how it can work in a that kind of conversational manner, I encourage you all to do that. And then charge us $2 every time you do it.
I feel like you're already clapping, but before we go on to the performance, which is late, so we are going to go out there and Marty is going to start performing straight away, and she's fantastic. But let's have a massive, huge, big round of applause for all of our panelists today. Thank you to each and every one of you. We were supposed to have closing remarks at the back end of today, but we're not going to do that now, so I'm going to very quickly do that now. Thank you to everybody that's turned up. Really appreciate you coming. Any questions off the back of it? Obviously, the guys all up here, these are the experts we got today. Don't come and ask me because I know nothing. I'm just a friendly face and make a few jokes and try and be funny. Doesn't always work, obviously. But yeah, thanks for coming. We're going to head out there. We're going to listen to some wonderful music. Take advantage of all the beer and wine and all the rest of it that's there, please. And yeah, thanks all for coming.